Bro, I just seen this clip. It says Jynxzi reveals his 40 streamer Valorant tournament has been canceled and moved to next weekend due to creators flaking within the last 24 hours. What is up with all these creators giving Jynxzi the short end of the stick, bro? Actually, no, I know what it is, because he's genuinely a nice guy, and people in this time take kindness for weakness. They see it as convenience, bro. I literally seen on YouTube a 20-minute compilation of streamers taking advantage of Jynxzi's kindness, bro. This dude is one of the most humble, stand-up people. He stays out the way, minds his business. All he wants to do is just generate good content and bring people together, and they're playing with his head top and disrespect him every single time he does it, bro.
Over the past few days, Jynxzi has found himself right back in the spotlight, and not in a good way. This situation is starting to look like it could seriously mess with his whole career if it keeps going. For anyone who's been out of the loop, Jynxzi has been running the streaming scene for nearly 2 years now, staying consistent, drama-free, and focused on putting out solid content. But lately, it's like that patience he's been known for has completely run out, especially when it comes to how other streamers have been treating him. So here's where things start getting messy. Jynxzi has been organizing these big tournaments with a bunch of creators, something the community doesn't usually see at this level. It was actually a fresh move, bringing people together and giving fans something different to watch.
God is my witness. This is my last time ever trying to bring together 16 streamers for a tournament. PBM is late. XQC is asleep. Arky's not even here. And then Ron and Marlon told me last minute, 45 minutes before the tournament started, that they have a flight at 8:30.
2 days ago, Jynxzi had a 40-streamer Valorant tournament organized and ready to go. 40 of the biggest streamers in the world were supposed to compete. He had put the work in to make it happen. And then, within the last 24 hours before the event, creators started flaking.
Right up. Chat, listen, boys. We were gonna do a Valorant tournament today. Relax, let me explain. We were gonna do a Valorant tournament today, but a bunch of people canceled in the last like 24 hours, and we just it was just cooked. So we're gonna be able to do it next week 100%.
But just like he feared, things didn't go smoothly at all. Streamers who promised they'd show up suddenly disappeared, or worse, backed out with weak excuses just 24 hours before everything kicked off. And that's what really makes this situation hit harder. These tournaments weren't random last-minute ideas. They were planned weeks in advance. That means people had plenty of time to lock in, yet still chose to bail or double book themselves.
And I respect that. That's why I said that 10 days in advance. I said the date 10 days in advance with the time!
It comes off as straight up disrespectful, especially when Jynxzi is putting in real effort to make these events happen. He's not just chasing views here, he's trying to build something that actually brings the community together. What makes it even crazier is that some of the streamers involved didn't even get along before this. But during the tournaments, they kept it respectful, competed, and actually had a good time together. That kind of energy is rare, and Jynxzi managed to create it. So when people just ditch like it's nothing, it makes everything he worked on feel like it didn't matter at all. That's straight facts. At the end of the day, all Jynxzi is trying to do is bring streamers together and create top-tier content for his audience. That's the whole mission, nothing shady, nothing complicated, just good vibes and strong content. And let's be real for a second, Jynxzi has a reputation for being one of the most respectful and easygoing creators to work with. Every collab he's done, he shows love, keeps it professional, and makes sure everyone eats. So when people start ditching him like this, it really starts to look like they're taking his kindness for granted. What makes this whole situation even worse is the insane amount of effort he puts into these events. Seriously, you don't see many creators moving like this.
As God is my witness, this is my last time ever trying to bring together 16 streamers for a tournament.
He's out here personally reaching out, organizing everything, lining up creators, and building something big so everyone involved can benefit and grow their audience together. That's not light work. That takes real time and dedication. But instead of matching that energy, some people are treating it like it's optional. They say, yeah, I'll be there, lock it in weeks ahead of time, and then suddenly switch up when it matters most. Now it turns into, I don't feel like it, or I've got something else planned. And just like that, they're gone. That kind of last-minute behavior throws everything off and makes the whole event look shaky. And let's not sugarcoat it. That's disrespectful. Jynxzi is putting in all this work to create something positive, and when people back out like that, they're blocking that vision from fully coming together. It's not just about him. It affects everyone involved and the audience waiting to watch. You really have to give Jynxzi credit here. A lot of people wouldn't handle this situation the same way. If it were someone else running a massive event with dozens of creators and people started dropping out last minute, they'd probably start cutting people off immediately. But Jynxzi, he stays calm, keeps it respectful, and still gives people more chances. He continues inviting the same creators back, even after they've shown up late, canceled, or barely participated. That says a lot about his character, but at the same time, it also highlights a bigger issue with some creators today. Not all of them, of course, but there's definitely a pattern with certain people acting way too comfortable and not taking commitments seriously. But let's be honest, there are definitely some people who move like they're way more important than they actually are. I'm not about to start name-dropping left and right because that gets messy real quick and feels unnecessary. But if you've been around the streaming scene even a little bit, you probably already have a few names in mind. You know exactly the type being talked about here. Now let me make this clear before anything gets twisted. This doesn't mean every streamer involved is a bad person. Streaming schedules can get hectic, real life happens, and plans can change. That's normal. But in this specific situation, some of these decisions just don't add up the way they should. Take Stable Ronaldo and Marlon, for example. The timing here looks wild. Having a flight booked at the exact same time as Jynxzi's tournament is already questionable, but not saying anything until about 45 minutes before it starts? That's where it really starts to look disrespectful.
How is PBM late? How do Ron and Marlon have a flight at 8?
Because the average streamer doesn't have a schedule. The average streamer doesn't.
And I respect that. That's why I said that 10 days in advance. I said the date 10 days in advance with the time!
Like, that's not just a small slip-up. That's the kind of thing that throws everything into chaos at the last second. And this isn't coming from a place of hate either. I like Ron. I like Marlon. They're entertaining creators. But situations like this deserve to be called out because of how much effort Jynxzi put into making this happen. This wasn't something thrown together overnight. It's already tough trying to coordinate 16 different streamers, all with packed schedules, and get them to commit to a full multi-hour event. That alone takes serious planning. So when something like a flight gets scheduled right on top of that, especially when the date was already locked in, it just comes off careless. At the end of the day, you can support someone and still hold them accountable. And in this case, even if there's no bad intent, the way it played out just doesn't look good at all. That's honestly true, and a big reason for it is how Jynxzi moves compared to everyone else. He really stays in his own lane and doesn't rely on constant collabs to stay relevant. Meanwhile, a lot of these other streamers are always linking up, doing group content and building their presence off each other. Just look at groups like FaZe Clan, for example. They're living together, filming in real life, building off personality, lifestyle, and constant interaction. That's their whole brand. Jynxzi, on the other hand, is way more low-key. He's on his setup, grinding games, and sticking to what works for him. Yeah, he still collabs here and there, but overall, he's focused on his own wave. And because of that, it feels like some people in those bigger social circles start to look at him differently, almost like he's an outsider or someone they don't fully take seriously. And in some cases, it even comes off like they think they can take advantage of that Spockboy laid-back energy, which is honestly just sad to see. Because at the end of the day, Jynxzi is the one actually putting in the effort to bring everyone together. He's creating opportunities that most people aren't even trying to build. These tournaments aren't just content. They're moments where completely different communities collide.
And throughout every single time he has been disrespected, bro, Jynxzi just takes it on his shoulder and smiles, bro. He doesn't get mad about it. He just literally charges it to the game and just keeps going forward. He is he is literally the biggest streamer right now. He has damn near 100,000 subscribers on Twitch, and he does that every single month. No subathon, no real big events, just him and his community, bro. And people just treat him like he's some type of nobody.
People who don't even get along are coming together, competing, and actually enjoying themselves while making fire content. That's something you don't see often, and it deserves way more respect than it's getting right now. If you made it this far, I need you to tap in, drop a like on this video, comment your thoughts on the whole situation, and let me know if you think Jynxzi is getting treated unfairly. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything else, because we're definitely keeping an eye on how this all plays out.